Let's welcome Jim Watson to the house. Let's welcome Jim Watson. Okay. VP Nava, morning, Ginger, everybody. Okay, we're ready to start. We're already live on the YouTube channel. Okay, so we're gonna ask our fearless leader Chinaka Dean Domachugu to come up. We're gonna start it. Everybody should have an agenda. We're gonna go quickly, run quick today. Okay, so have a seat. Good morning, Tammy.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to the first Watson College of Education Open House State of the College event. A lot of things happen in this college from August when the school year begins all the way to May when we graduate as students and through the summer. I want to say a big thank you to the faculty and staff who are seated here and those who are online with us for the great work that you do. Our college continues to do exemplary work. And what we want to hope to achieve today is to just showcase to you some of what we've been able to do in 1 year. I know that many of you got the magazine. The magazine presents a synopsis of what the college accomplished in 1 year. But then as I was talking with Enrique just a few minutes ago, there are things we missed. There are things we did not even include. And because we are going through a whole accreditation process, and we didn't have a whole section for it. We have the UCDD, the University Center for Developmental Disability, that is doing excellent work. I cannot start naming all the places that we could go to fill the gaps that we have missed. So what you see this morning is just a brief synopsis of what is happening in this college. And we want to showcase it to you because we believe we could not accomplish any of this without your support. Our community collaborators, our partners from the community college, from the K-12 system, faculty, staff, and our students. And I want to do a big call out, shout out to Jim Watson and his team. Judy is not able to be here with us this morning. She wanted to be here. It's unavoidably. The Watsons have been more than supporters. They are invested in this college. And their support has helped us to make strides in different directions. So I want to say thank you, Jim, and thanks to you. I want to say a big thank you to our Vice President for Advancement, Dr. Robert Nava. He steers us as we go to places to make a lot happen for you and for our students. So I was given 5 minutes, and I asked them if they would give me a script, so I stay within the script. But my call this morning is to say thank you for coming, and we look forward to you having a good experience with us this morning.
Hello, and good morning. And thank you, Dr. Murillo, for making me go right after the dean and making this live. Wonderful. Many of you do not know me. My name is Dr. Stacy Cardoso Ortiz. I am the program specialist for the doctoral program. And I have some exciting news to share, some highlights from our program this year. Recently, we have been recognized as a national leader, ranking 86 among the nation's best education schools by U.S. News and World Report. This remarkable achievement is a testament to our program's transformation and our unwavering commitment to producing culturally responsive leaders who are equipped to serve the diverse communities of Southern California. Under the visionary leadership of Dr. I don't know, is this not working? Sorry. Under the visionary leadership program. Is it like this? Okay, much better? Can everybody hear me? No. Should I just scream? Okay, is it better? No. Oh, Jesus. All right. Like this? Okay. So. Like that? Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to scan like this. All right. Under the visionary leadership of Dr. Murillo, the EDD program has undergone significant restructuring, elevating it into the top 20% of schools nationwide. This reflects our rigorous curriculum and innovative approach to educational leadership, which truly sets our program apart. Is this better? Much better. Audience, yeah. Okay, again, thank you for making me number 2 here. What truly sets our program apart is the active engagement of our alumni, community leaders, and educational stakeholders. These robust partnerships not only enhance student experiences, but also amplify the impact of our graduates on educational leadership. As the program specialist, I am deeply committed to and proud of the incredible journey our program has undertaken. This academic year, we'll be graduating a total of 24 students, each ready to make a significant impact in our community. I have had the privilege of witnessing the growth, resilience, and dedication firsthand, and I am profoundly moved by their achievements. I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our dedicated faculty and staff. Your hard work, passion, and commitment have been instrumental in our success and the success of our students. Your unwavering support and belief in our mission have made all the difference. Thank you for being part of this transformative journey. Together, we are making a lasting impact in the future of education.
Thank you, Stacy, for testing all that out for me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here and celebrating with us today. The Watson College of Education is proud to collaborate. We collaborated this year with Natural Sciences, and excuse my voice. We hosted the annual celebration of teaching on Thursday, March 20th at the Obershard Dining. The event brought together 170 enthusiastic educators and future teachers for the day, dedicated to professional development, networking, and inspiring insights. The event highlights our collaboration with other colleges and district partners to build a recruitment pathway for the undergrad students to explore teaching as a profession. It connects them with the credential coordinators and faculty for the next step in their educational journey. The program commenced with warm welcomes from both deans of the colleges, Dean Chinaka Damatuku and Sashi Padalum, who set an uplifting tone for the day. The CSUSB alumni, Juan Carlos Luna, presented our keynote, and he is pursuing his doctorate degree right now and doing a wonderful job, but he's also an elementary teacher at the Rialto Unified School District. He delivered a compelling keynote address that engaged our candidates and motivated them. In addition to the keynote, we featured several insight presenters. Dr. James Huff, which is a Director of Project Impact, and Dr. Jordi Salazar Cruz discussed the innovation and opportunities within the bilingual program. We also had district representatives, two of them from Riverside Unified School District and San Bernardino Unified School District, who talked about recruitment and how their districts would be glad to take on our students and build a pathway for them for when they're done with their student teaching to be hired. The day concluded with wonderful breakout sessions and a panel from alumni. 6 educators participated in dynamic question and answering, offering practical advice and sharing real-world experience of how to be a teacher in the classroom in this generation. The event reaffirms our shared vision to build a sustainable teacher recruitment pipeline that begins with early explanation to the undergrad programs and nurtures the community and partnerships so we develop that pathway for all educators. We extend a heartfelt thank you to the Planning Committee, Dr. Shannon Sparks for emceeing, our Credential program coordinators, and many of our faculty, district partners, and alumni that participated in this event to ensure the next generation of educators can be elevated within this profession. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Is this working? Yes. Okay, thank you. One of our challenges that we have listed under critical questions later on is technology, and we've seen technology problem solving in action. My name is Dr. William Mahoney.
My name is Dr. Angie Stone McDonald.
So we're here to talk about the research symposium. We're currently in our 22nd year. Last year we held our 21st research graduate student symposium. I have been the chair of that symposium for 10 years, and this year I have passed the torch over to Dr. Stone McDonald. Real briefly, the history of our research symposium for our graduate students is to engage students at any stages of research, from an idea to networking to having collected their data, to give them a safe mentoring space to present their research, and hopefully prepare them for when they are going out to national and international conferences to give them that experience. Research, again, as I mentioned, can be at the beginning stages, have your data collected. For a lot of students, it's also in the classrooms, it's learning about research. It's seeing action research in actual action. It's seeing how our students are going out in their classrooms and in their school districts and what the impact is that they are making locally in our Inland Empire. Formats includes posters, roundtables, video clips, and panel presentations. This event over the last 22 years has greatly contributed to the thriving research scholarly environment here, not just in the College of Education, but on our campus as well. Last year we had 13 student presenters and 7 faculty sponsors, with topics ranging from gaming to literacy and math skills, and to the uses of AI in education. And Dr. Stone McDonald will talk about this year's event.
Thank you. So this year's event will be tomorrow from 5 to 8 p.m. And we are doing it on Zoom this year. We're trying something different to see if we can get an increased number of participants, because many of the classes that we do host are on Zoom, so that students can come either from the after their 4 to 6:45 class or before their 7 to 9:45 class. And we do have presenters who are using the entire range of presentation options that we offered in previous years. But one of the other exciting things is we have presentations this year that are joint student and faculty presentations, as well as some additional presentation opportunities for some of our pre-tenured faculty, because we do have some areas where we don't always have as many opportunities for those presenters to present in other places. And we want to share the really good work that they are doing with our university community, because it's incredible the work that so many of our pre-tenured faculty are doing, and they go out and they present them at these wonderful conferences around the country and around the world, but then we don't always get to see what they're actually doing. And so it's an opportunity for us as a community to learn more about what each of us are doing and to showcase that to the rest of the university and our local community. And so if you go to our website for the WCOE, you can see the link right there to join us tomorrow. It will be on Zoom. There's no registration. You can just come and participate, and we hope that you will join us. Thank you.
Test, test. Didn't see it. All right, I'm back. This time I'm here to talk about our wonderful new teacher residency program. We are delighted to highlight our new program, a transformative grant-funded program for the California Commission on Teacher Credentialing, shaping the next generation of educators. In collaboration with Rialto Unified School District, and Alex, where are you? Stand up. Alex, stand up. And Morongo School District. Matt, Brent, where are you at? Stand up. They wrote in collaboration and were awarded, total between the two programs, 29 funded teacher residency positions. That means 19 from Rialto, and Morongo was awarded 10 each year. That brings about $30,000 to our candidates on top of their already funded grants or Pell Grants, any type of grant funded from the university. That helps with living expenses. This totals, for the next 5 years, we have 29 candidates, $3,950,000. 145 educators will get the chance to work in the classroom with an experienced teacher all year. Learning from that experienced teacher hand in hand, they will start from the beginning and to the end, and also be able to earn their master's degrees in this program. It's an 18-month program. It exemplifies our commitment to excellence for the teacher preparation by blending our Credential program's rigorous coursework with the hands-on expertise in our districts and classrooms. It is for multiple subject, single subject, education, and bilingual candidates. They will engage alongside with that teacher all year to build their confidence, learn the culture of the district, and be able to thrive in this diverse educational setting of today. The program builds stronger partnerships with our districts. Hopefully next year we'll add 2 more districts, and also look at, there's a same type of program for counseling. This ensures a seamless pipeline for the preparation and employment of our candidates. So together, let's build a stronger, more inclusive future, one classroom at a time, and I believe the teacher residency is the future of our teacher preparation programs. Thank you.
Good morning. In the words of George R.R. Martin, a reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies. The man who never reads lives only one. Thank you for the opportunity to provide a brief report on the work in the Watson and Associates Literacy Center, known as the WALC. Currently, I have the pleasure and the privilege of serving as the director of the center. The center is rooted in a simple but powerful mission to support K-12 students in San Bernardino who are experiencing difficulty in reading and to equip future educators with the tools to make a lasting difference. Working with our community schools in the San Bernardino City Unified School District, the center serves roughly 30 students across the K-12. These students attend 2 one-hour tutoring sessions each week at no cost to their families. What makes this program unique is that the tutoring is conducted by undergraduate students from Cal State San Bernardino, trained in the science of reading and mentored by our literacy specialist, Emily. The result is a dual impact model. Young readers receive consistent, personalized literacy intervention, while our university students gain hands-on experience in education, mentorship, and community service. All federal work-study students who tutor at the center first are required to complete a comprehensive course offered through the Department of Teaching and Educational Foundations. The course focuses on best practices for tutoring school-aged children and prepares students with the foundational knowledge and strategies necessary for effective support. Upon completion, students become eligible to work at the center. I want to tell you the story about one such student. He initially enrolled in the course simply to fulfill the requirement for work study so that he would have an on-campus job because he's needy and he needed the money. He's a freshman business major. Has nothing to do with education. I'm going to tell you the secret in the story. He has now been with us the entire year. Recently, he approached me and he said, Dr. Sue, can I speak with you about the path to becoming a teacher? Through his experience at the center, he has discovered not only the deep interest in education, but an extraordinary talent for working with young learners that sprouted from within him. His thoughtful, intuitive, and intuition already demonstrates an impressive understanding of how children learn. It has been inspiring to witness his growth. And he is just one example of how the center nurtures not only young readers, but future educators as well. And he'd like to be a math teacher. We all know that in our communities, in the state, in the nation, that math teachers are sought after and they're employed right away. And so this is exciting. This year, the center has placed a special emphasis not only on tutoring, but also on the development of families. A recent example is that we had a family literacy event that was co-hosted by the center and San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools. It was held here on a Saturday. It was so wonderful. Families came into this very room and they heard a keynote speech from an author. And then they went into breakout rooms where children engaged in really fun literacy activities, demonstrating to the families things that they could do at home to promote literacy. There were vendors out in the foyer giving away loads of different tools for the family, magnetic letters for the refrigerator, little books, and candy. That always draws kids, right? So thanks to the generosity of Judy Rodriguez-Watson and James Watson, who fund the Literacy Specialist Director position and supplies, and to the Federal Work Study Program, which supports the tutors, the center continues to provide all services and materials, including parking and access to Freckle Online, free of charge. Looking ahead, the center plans to strengthen its presence in local schools, expand family engagement events, and explore possibilities of hosting literacy courses and conferences within the center. The long-term goal is clear: to become a hub for literacy support, teacher preparation, and community partnership in San Bernardino. And I'll end with the words of Marian Wright Edelman. Education is for improving the lives of others and for leaving your community and world better than you found it. That is the guiding principle behind every tutoring center, every partnership, and every story shared within these walls. Thank you again for your support.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Xin Yingying. I'm a science education professor at the Department of Teacher Education and Foundations. I will be presenting with Dr. Una Beck. Is there about our Verizon Unity Learning STEM Achievers Program. Thank you for the opportunity for us to share with you about this great program here. This initiative is part of a national program supported by the Verizon Foundation to bridge the digital divide and promote equity in STEM education, especially among middle school students from underserved and underrepresented communities. At CSUSB, we launched this program in 2016 through the college education, and it has grown into a powerful, transformative experience for students across the Inland Empire. The program provides free, informal STEM learning opportunities for low-income minority middle school students. Students engage in engineering design, entrepreneurship, coding, robotics, 3D design, printing, electronics, drones, augmented and virtual reality through our inquiry-based, culturally relevant, and hands-on curriculum. The students apply these STEM skills to real-world community-based problem solving that inspired by the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. These students cannot get such learning opportunities from anywhere else but here in this program. They develop not only STEM skills, but really essential 21st century skills like critical thinking, creativity, communication skills, collaboration, and cultural competency. Each summer, we have students participate in a 3-week summer camp, and during the school year, we host 2 open houses. Each open house, we had 150 students. We have also held multiple mini makers fairs to celebrate students' innovation. This year marks our 10th year of the program at CSUSB. We have proudly served over 1,350 middle school students in our region and received $1.625 million in funding from Verizon, and we're expecting another $200,000 for this upcoming year. And we have been able to expand the summer camp from 100 students to 200 students per year.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Una Beck, professor and coordinator of MA in Instructional Design and Technology program, and also I'm coordinating career and technical program this year. Let me briefly introduce our partnerships and the impact of our program. First, we have a long partnership with the San Bernardino, Fontana, Upland school districts, which these have been essential. And these partnerships are not just one-time collaboration. These are sustained and multi-year relationships that have had a long-lasting impact on our students, teachers, and school communities. One of our program's strengths is our emphasis on collaborative partnerships, both on campus and across the region. Internally, we have partners with faculty members from many different departments, like Drs. Youngmin Kim and David Maynard from chemistry, and also Mike Stoll and his team members from School of Entrepreneurship and Transportation Services, Art Museum, and Innovation Lab at Library, and X-Real Lab, Leadership Challenge courses, and many others at CSSB. And externally, we have partners with organizations like Schools First Credit Union, which runs financial literacy class for our students. So we want to offer not only the STEM skills, STEM activities, but also other, related, 21st centuries, and also when they have a good STEM ideas, we want them to even create a marketing plan. So that's why we are also offering financial literacy simulations for our students. This year, we are building new partnerships with CDW, a tech solution company. You may have heard about it. And also California State Parks. So expanding the reach and the relevance of our program. So our students are really exposed to a variety of enriching experiences, really enlarging their horizons beyond their classrooms. And perhaps most powerful testament to our program is our students themselves. That's last Friday at our spring open house. We had a panel discussion with our program alums, so who are now not middle school, who are high school students or college students, and even tech staff at San Bernardino City Unified School District. They hired them. So I brought a couple of quotes from them that discussed at the panel discussion. So one is, throughout the summer camp, we did a lot of coding. I really enjoyed it. It opened a more clear path for my future. Another student said, my design lab class really helped me think and problem solve. I didn't know how to code before. Another student, I stayed after school just to learn more about the machines. That passion helped me land an internship. Another student, actually he's now serving as a tech staff at San Bernardino City Unified School District. He says, now I can fix 3D printers and run through program in my job. The program showed me, the Verizon program showed me what I was capable of. Okay, another student, actually he's Kaisen, and he came to our university. So he's currently doing psychology major. He said, even though I'm psychology major now, the communication skills I gained still shape who I am. So these are the quotes from our students. So thank you. So seeing the students grow from curious middle schoolers to engaged and capable young adults and emerging leaders in their community is most rewarding aspects of this program. So in conclusion, Verizon Innovative Learning STEM Achievers Program is more than just a summer camp. Thank you. One more, yeah. It is more than a catalyst for opportunity, a bridge to future that students may not have imagined for themselves. And for me personally, this is really personally, it has been deeply, deeply meaningful to witness their growth over the years. So on behalf of our wonderful team and our amazing students, thank you for your time and attention. I welcome any questions and would love to explore the opportunities that we can partner to continue in expanding this impact. Finally, Ed, thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Hall. I am an assistant professor of science education. I want to thank you all so much for giving me the opportunity to present about the Watson College of Education Summer Institutes, Advancing Next Generation Science Standards in TK3 Classrooms. I just want to introduce this as a collaboration between 5 CSUSB faculty. That would be myself, Dr. Jing Yang Yang, Pete Smith, Halil Tasoba, and Ye-Wan Song, representing STEM faculty and faculty from literacy backgrounds. This work was funded by CSU Chancellor's Office grant, looking to broaden understanding among elementary teachers about their understanding of next generation science standards and how to use those in the classroom. We worked, during the summer of 2024, we worked with TK through 3 teachers from the San Bernardino City Unified School District. And we developed goals to kind of guide our work and planning based on pre-institute survey data that we gathered from the teachers who we would work with, and also through focus groups. And in that, our goals looked at building understanding of next generation science centers and science content knowledge among the elementary teachers. Number 2 is facilitate participants to redesign their curricula to integrate science, math, and literacy lessons. So that was one of the things that we found from our pre-planning data that was something that they needed to do. And then also develop elementary teachers' understanding and practice of culturally relevant science pedagogy. During the summer of 2024, this took place over a 4-day sequence. And we started at 9 and we went to 3:30 in the afternoon, 9 in the morning, 3:30 in the afternoon. And it kind of took an approach where we covered content, and then we had the participants or the teachers apply and then reflect on what they learned. So the first day we talked about what the next generation science centers are, rather complex, and then look at what we think science is and how that works with the science classroom. And then then they got an opportunity to do some lesson planning and then do rehearsals in the classroom. Day 2 was all about learning how math integrates with science. So we looked at some frameworks of integration and then the standards in math, and then we worked on how we could plan and rehearse and apply what we learned again. So this kind of followed that same routine. Day 3, that was focused on literacy, and so we learned some frameworks around literacy and how that can be integrated with science. And then the day 4, we kind of went through like a reflection day, and we shared resources that came from the teachers and what we could share with them, what we learned. Went over big points that were covered, and then we brought on this new idea of how do we extend or continue to work together throughout the school year. So this concept of introducing research practice partnerships. So in this, what were some of our key accomplishments? Teachers, and I would say us faculty, we had increased familiarity with next generation science standards, content-rich science lessons that could be done. We also became to understand how integrations can happen more effectively between English language arts, science, and math. And then during that, we also had some reflections that we could see how the teachers would actually use these in the classroom. And then lastly, also, we kind of looked at how these lessons could be focused on culturally relevant pedagogy to teach with all students involved. So some further directions. The grant that we received from the CSU Chancellor's Office was for the summer 2024-2025, so we'll be doing this again in 2025. And we focus working with 4th to 6th grade teachers. And so in that, we want to continue to think about how we can utilize research practice partnerships so that we can extend that work throughout the year. This also was very, very helpful between us, the STEM faculty, literacy faculty at CSUSB, to think about how our program can be more integrated, especially when we're focused on like elementary preparation and how that works with us. And then lastly, the last outcome was we're looking at how we can take data that we've collected, share it at local and also international conferences and through manuscripts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Hall. So you can see that beyond just teaching our credential classes, the College of Education actually has a whole lot going on. Not only are the activities that you're hearing about intersecting every other college on campus, it's also intersecting the community at different levels. You heard about transportation. You heard about all the other avenues that our college continues to be engaged in. I'm supposed to speak about our Educational Leadership Summit. in 2021, we launched this summit. And the goal was for us to continue to provide leadership in this region, in the area of education. So the Educational Summit is a platform for us to bring together educational leaders in this region to reaffirm our fundamental commitments to teaching and learning in this region, and to shape conversations around best practices and the direction for education. At the summit, we like for like-minded individuals, professionals from different backgrounds to come together, to collaborate, to discuss, to explore answers to questions that are facing our region in the educational sector. We create an environment that makes for interactivity, as well as bring people with specialties in different areas to come and address the summit. The goal of the summit is for us in this college, in this university, the only CSU in the region, to frame the conversation around education, to provide guidance so that we can continue to be at the cutting edge of best practices. Thank you. All right. Just want to highlight the last conference we had last November. The topic was education as a civil right, safeguarding the future of America's public schools. I would invite everyone who came from South Carolina. Did they think at the time that schools would be under attack, that the youth Department of Education would face the challenge of being shut down? But we here somehow have an idea that we need to begin to talk about it, and we need to begin to strategize. So to move forward, I encourage our partners to become more actively involved in this Educational Leadership Summit. It's a place for us to come and dialogue and explore best practices. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Jamili Sosana, and I am the proud coordinator for the bilingual authorization at the Watson College of Education. And as you can tell by my accent, I am not from Texas. So I come from Spain, but I am a Catalan. So Catalans, they do have their own language and culture within Spain. And what a coincidence that I was brought to the college by the Dean's office 3 years ago to be part of the bilingual authorization. Just to give you a bit of context, 3 years ago, we had this wonderful program. I would say it was languaging. We had maybe 3 to 5 students per semester. And right now, as of today, we have more than 80 students already enrolled. So it's growing, and my forecast for the fall is going to be we will surpass 100 teacher candidates becoming bilingual teachers. That's one thing. The second thing, again, and thanks to the Dean's office, is that the Watson College of Education, at that time only College of Education, has been able to gather $3.8 million to support those bilingual teachers, right? So let me give you a bit of context, a bit more. We are now offering not only the Spanish bilingual training, but also expanding to the Asian languages with Yuan Song there, and also with other funding opportunities. And you may not know this, but bilingual education is quality and enrichment education. At some point, people thought that bilingual education was only for, remedial people that don't speak well English, people that have an accent, and this is all about the contrary. We are training quality teachers to become bilingual teachers in Spanish and other languages. Okay, so having another language is an asset, it's not a problem. More things. Do you guys know about dual language immersion? Can you raise your hand if you're familiar with it? Okay, so I see some hands, okay, that are not. No worries, I was in the same situation as you guys. When I came to California 10 years ago, I was brought from Spain as a Catalan to teach in Spanish in a dual immersion program, and I knew anything about dual immersion. And I learned that these programs, they are training, they are producing fully bilingual and biliterate students by the end of 8th grade. Okay? And they are helping the ones who need the most. English learners, minorities, the ones who want to learn not only one language, one culture, the English one, the dominant, but also a second one. And usually in our area it means Spanish, but also there's many other languages. In my district there were 7 different dual immersion languages in 7 languages. Okay? So, dual immersion was born back in Florida, in Canada, and it was based, this is the section about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So, it seems that those words right now, they are toxic. Seems like also education is not valued enough right now. I believe the contrary. Okay? I believe that dual immersion, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and education is worth more than ever. So throughout dual immersion, what we did, again, thanks to the Dean's office, I came to the office of the Dean 3 years ago and said, hey, I'm a new faculty, do you have money to do this event about dual immersion? And the Dean said, well, yes. And he gave me the time, he gave me the money, and we started slow. We had, I would say, between 60 and 70 people coming to this very room to talk about dual immersion. And then, this year, we celebrated the 3rd edition with more than 140 attendees, 140, 2 keynote speakers, 5 workshops in Spanish and in English, and with the support and also for free, based on equity, and again, with the Watson College and the Dean's Office support. So I believe that the Watson College of Education, and I'm finishing, it's becoming what we want, we aspire to become the beacon of great quality enrichment bilingual education in the Inland Empire. Thank you so much.
I'm up. Do we skip you? Okay. Like confused. Okay. Set the timer for 20 minutes, please. No, I was kidding. I'm gonna give you. Okay, how's that? Is that better? Okay. So LEAD is an umbrella. It's not just the LEAD Summit. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you the quick and dirty version of LEAD. We've been around since 1999. Okay, so that's 26 years. So that was last century, last millennia, whatever the term is. It's a long time ago. Okay, so it started off with the Journal of Latinos and Education. Okay, the Journal of Latinos and Education. It was right away, within a few years, listed as a Tier 1 academic journal. At one time, we were the only academic journal housed at a CSU, which is a very prestigious marker of its significance. Then came the Feria Educativa, which is a college and career fair. And we held, at one time, we had a good partnership with Telemundo, and we had a live television broadcast that was shown on NBC and Telemundo here on our campus. The first, as far as I know, is the first ever major broadcast on our campus. We did that. Then we joined with Cardenas Markets, and we held, which is in the Guinness Book of World Record, we held the largest bilingual college and career fair. We had 105,000 people attend our fair, and that was at the Ontario Speedway. Now, all this was made probably before any of you were here. That's something we did, a while back ago. Then we had the NLEN, the National Latino Education Network, and we called it an electronic barrio. It predated MySpace. You guys remember MySpace? So it predated MySpace. Okay, so that was a huge thing back in the day. And then we have the Binational Parent Leadership Institute, which is a partnership we have with the county schools. So Norman's here. Norm, raise your hand. That's our San Bernardino County Schools. And also a partnership we have with the Mexican Consulate. Tammy is here from the Mexican Consulate. So that's a huge accomplishment. Then we have the HEP, which so we reached out to, we worked with farm workers, help farm workers get their GED, get their high school diploma. So we did that for a number of years. That was a grant we got from the Department of Education, a $5 million grant we got from the Department of Education. We have the Amoxcali, which is we have an Aztec dance group. And so you've probably seen us on our campus at events doing our Aztec dance. And yes, I dance, even though I don't have a dancer's body, but yes, I dance as much as I can. I do the best I can, okay? We have our Cesar Chavez breakfast. We just did, I think it was number 15 or 16, just about a month ago. We had our annual Cesar Chavez breakfast, another huge thing. We have a play that starts this Friday, so you probably see the advertisement. It's the first Chicano farce in the history of our campus, so that's starting this weekend. We also are we're taking on a new hosting a new event. This again is with the Mexican Consulate and the county schools, which is, I'm sure you heard of it, the Latino Book and Family Festival. So it's been around for a number of years, so we're doing that. So all these projects are behind the scenes that maybe you all don't know about. The event, the culmination event, our signature event is the Lead Summit. And the idea here is it's a summit, so it's just one conversation that takes place throughout the whole day. We bring everybody into the room. We webcast it. We have more than 1,600 universities across 43 countries that we partner with, and they're all watching. And we hold town halls. It's become a big thing over the years, and I'm real proud of it. And this year it's Friday, October 3rd, and then the very next day, Saturday, October 4th, is our Family Book and Family Festival, Latino Book and Family Festival. Okay, so that's it.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Huff. I am the Director of Project Impact. And it's kind of amazing to listen that they put diversity, equity, and inclusion on here because we know that it is under attack. But we are showing right now that Cal State San Bernardino is demonstrating how important it is to maintain diversity, equity, and inclusion. No matter how they put the word out, no matter what they say, we need it. Our students need it. I'm a product of that. I grew up in Inglewood, LA. I grew up with a single mom. She never finished middle school, right? Who would have thought a kid like me could be standing up in front of all of you right now if it wasn't for that push for diversity, equity, and inclusion? So, highlight Project Impact, which was a dream of our dean back in 2020. When he came here and he said, we need to start incorporating more representation in the K-12 school system. Because his background is kind of like mine. We taught in LA. And noticed that there was not very many people that looked like me. So when I was approached by Dr. Sabera to step in, who actually was one of my professors, came and asked me would I love to take this role. I was excited. This is what retirement looks like. I get to come in from being an administrator for the Harupa School District to now going out and recruiting other men of color to come in there and follow and be change agents for the next young generation to come, right? So just to let you guys know real quick about what we're doing in Project Impact, we started off in 2020 under Dr. Sabrell when they were putting this vision alive. We had 10. Last year, we graduated 30. And just to let you know, from the original group of graduates, we now have some of them coming back to get their administrative credential. A lot of them are coming back to get their master's. A lot of them are putting back into the program. This year alone, we're going to have 38 completers of this program. We started off with about 60 before I came in as director. We're close to 175, right? Those are some that are still in the program, some that are completing the program, and some that are coming into the program. We have a lot of great partnerships. Dr. Gibbs' program over in Rialto Unified School District, she's here. Can you raise your hand, Dr. Gibbs? Dr. Gibbs' Group Your Own program has really partnered with us. Matter of fact, we're using that program as a mechanism to reach out to other districts. So now we have Dr. Funches over in San Bernardino Unified School District. We're working with a lot of school districts using the motto of Grow Your Own. So it's working. And one of those things that we do in Project Impact is we try to cover and help and mentor these young folks. Under the Grow Your Own, under the partnership with Cal State, they help pay their tuition. They help mentor them. They guide them. They help get them where they need to be, because all of you who have not worked in the K-12, that's a scary space. To be in that classroom and try to set up that classroom, it's scary. But under Project Impact, with Dr. Huff and all the teams that we have, we mentor them all the way through their induction period. So we don't just let them graduate from Cal State. We keep them part of this team. Yodis for life, right? So we try to make sure that they come back, give back with the Teachers Residency Program. We have so many things going on with Project Impact. We have the GIA program that's donating money for our program. We have the Winegate Center. We have so many people who also believe that diversity, inclusion, and equity is a needed thing to have. This country was founded on diversity, right? So here's one story I'll say, because I got about 48 seconds left. We just recruited a young man who reached out to me. He was homeless, African-American young man, homeless, moved into foster care. A person came who believes in this inclusion that everybody is capable. Reached out to this young man and guided him all the way through to now he's substituting for schools now. He got his bachelor's degree, substituting. He called me on the phone. He said, Doctor, have I heard about Project Impact? I want to become a member of this fraternity. I want to be an example. And what really made me happy, because I specialize in special ed, he wants to be a special ed teacher. He wants to give back. I think that's something amazing. So we have so many stories to tell of these young men of color, our Native American men of color, our Asian men of color, our African American men of color. They all have a story to tell. And young people need to have that. So that's our story. God bless you.
Good morning. I noticed we've been sitting down for about 1 hour. Can we please just stand up and take Okay. Thank you. Please, let's sit down. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. Everybody. My name is Lasisi Ajayi.
My name is Golge Seferoğlu. Today we will be sharing the amazing things our faculty does for internationalization. This past October, Watson College of Education made history by co-hosting International Conference on Education for Sustainable Development in Changchun, China, in partnership with Northeast Normal University. It was a remarkable event that brought together scholars and educators from across the globe to explore critical issues shaping the future of education.
Dr. Golge and I represented CSUB with excellence, leading workshops, sharing research, and building deeper ties between our institutions. The impact was clear. When we collaborate across borders, we don't just exchange ideas, we co-create new possibilities.
And I am proud to share that CSUSB will host the next international conference on educational transformation in 2025 in October. We will be hosting the second conference right here on our campus. This exciting development will further elevate our role as a leader in global education and deepen our partnership with Northeast Normal University.
In alignment with Objective 4 of CSUSB strategic plan to enhance global learning opportunities for our campus community, we have taken bold steps to create meaningful, lasting international collaborations. The establishment of the CSUSB NENU Education for Sustainable Development Consortium is one of those steps.
The consortium promotes shared research and teaching between our faculty and Northeast Normal universities, and emphasis on educational equity and sustainability, and international partnership that foster innovation, discovery, and mutual understanding.
These efforts directly support our strategic outcomes, enhancing the understanding of global issues and world cultures, expanding globally focused curriculum, and supporting faculty in collaborative international research.
We are also advancing our strategic plans, Objective 4.2, which calls us to expand student, faculty, and staff participation in education abroad. From traditional travel-based programs to virtual exchanges and at-home global learning opportunities, we are creating flexible and inclusive ways for more of our campus community to engage with the world.
Through the Education for Sustainable Development in English Language Teacher Education Project, funded by the U.S. Department of State, Dr. Seferoğlu and I had the opportunity to work with pre-service teachers in some of Turkey's most earthquake-impacted regions. This work reflected the heart of international engagement, meeting real needs, learning in community, and growing as educators and global citizens.
And looking ahead, we are excited to welcome TESOL students from Hankook University in South Korea this summer as part of our Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages training program. This is a great example of our strategic plan's Objective 4.3 in action, growing and diversifying our international student body while enriching our campus with new perspectives and cultural exchange.
Every initiative we have shared today is a reflection of something greater. Our belief that internationalization isn't just a goal, it's a transformative experience. It's our classroom, in our research, in the relationship we build, and in the lives we change.
And now I want to take a moment to express my deep gratitude to our university leadership, President Thomas D. Morales, Provost Rafiq Mohammed, and Associate Vice Provost and Dean John Binkley for their unwavering support of global engagement at CSUSB and their shared commitment to internationalization as a pillar of our mission.
And also to add our own Dean here, who has been supportive all the way from the time we conceptualized this idea, even when it was not doing well. He continued to encourage us, and we are happy, and we thank you. Thank you once again to our leadership for your support and vision, and thank you all of you here today who continue to champion the internalization of CSUSB. We look forward to all of you that we will achieve together. Thank you.
Are you, everyone able to hear me?
I can hear you.
Thank you. Okay. Again, thank you. My name is Marie Mahoney. I'll be moderating our panel today, and I just want to welcome everyone. And how many of you here knew that the CSUSB started as a teacher's college? Okay, not a lot, but a few of you. Okay, we are the oldest college on this campus. We have seen and weathered a lot of changes and challenges since 1965. We've been doing this a long time. In the early 2000s, around the time that I came, during prior budget tightening, the CEO financially floated the campus and other colleges on the university with no expectation of in-kind return. We were doing that because it was for the betterment of our students, and we were all about our students. Now again, we are in a time of uncertainty and new challenges, from budget constraints to barriers to access and civility. We continue to rise to these challenges for our students and education. Our invited distinguished panel members, and I apologize if I'm walking in front of them, this is my blind side, as some of you know, here who are all actively engaged in the community and in research and addressing these challenges today and tomorrow. I'm going to introduce the presenters. First is Dr. Carlos Gallen. He's our 2024 Outstanding Lecturer and is now an Assistant Professor in our Department of Special Education, Rehabilitation, and Counseling. Dr. Deanna Camille, 2024 Outstanding Faculty for Professional Development and Scholarly Activities, is also an Assistant Professor in our Special Education Department in the Counseling Program. Her expertise is in school counseling, student services and administration. Her work explores culturally responsive practices and supervision in school counseling, college and career readiness, and the readiness of minoritization populations and stress management. I have 3 pairs of glasses that I wear. I have a long hair on her doing this. Okay? She will be focusing today on student mental health and well-being. And I apologize, Dr. Carlos Gallen will be focusing today on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our final panel member is Dr. Sharina Fetters, who was our 2024 Spotlight alumni. She's a graduate of our EDD program in educational leadership with an emphasis on social justice, and she is the Chief of Equity and Access in the San Bernardino County Superintendent Schools, where she leads initiatives to address systematic inequalities and promote inclusive practices across 33 school districts, impacting over 400,000 students. Her topic today will be leadership in changing times, needs and demographics, and political pressure. Each member of the panel is going to do a 3 to 4 minute presentation. I will ask that you hold your questions until the end. We will have time for a Q&A. I will ask as well for the Q&A portion if you come up to the front, and we will have a microphone here so that we can make sure that we capture you on the webcast. Dr. Cole.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carlos Galan. I had the honor to serve as an adjunct faculty here at College of San Bernardino, and now I serve as an assistant professor in the counseling department. My research, broadly speaking, focuses on issues of access and equity. And as I came today, as I was driving, and for the last couple of days, the quote by one of my favorite writers has been stuck in my head. Jose Saramago, in his book, Blindness, Jose Saramago talks about how individuals, we have a responsibility to see, address, and take action. He writes, if you can see, look. If you can look, observe. If you can observe, repair. That talks to me about the responsibility that we have with equity. And equity has always been under attack. It's not just now, always. And it has always been under attack. I can say that it has always been under attack because I have invested the last couple of years of my life looking at literature on the racialized experiences of equity advocates in higher education. To say that they have been treated poorly is an understatement. Generally speaking, higher education has not been kind to equity advocates. It has not been kind to people who try to push higher education structures to be more amenable to the needs of racial minoritized students of color. I am an immigrant to the United States. I am a former English learner, and my life has been possible because of the intentionality of equity advocates in higher education. They helped me when I was transitioning from K-12 to higher education. In higher education, equity advocates helped me to find solutions to the problems that I was experiencing as a first-generation college student. And in grad school, I benefited from the mentorship of equity advocates, particularly faculty of color, who showed me the possibilities of higher education. In more than one way, my life is possible because of the intentionality of equity advocates. And in today's time, when equity is under attack, I cannot help but to think about the day-to-day lives, the day-to-day responsibilities of people leading equity efforts in higher education. I have spent the last 4 years working with equity advocates in the community college system, particularly here in Cal State San Bernardino. I collaborate with them to develop a thing called student equity plans. And the student equity plans are mandated through our state legislature, where community colleges are prompted to develop an equity plan that seeks to identify and address the barriers of community colleges in serving racially minoritized students. So I'm dealing and working, collaborating with people who are mandated to address racial equity through state legislature. And I have been spending a lot of time just interviewing, talking to them, overshare them in their day-to-day lives. And they face a very tall order. Their experiences oftentimes tells me that even though they are mandated to advance racial equity, the structures that we have in place, but in looking at the community college system in particular, but broadly speaking at higher education, are not amenable to these people to lead equity work. Oftentimes they're mandated to do equity work without proper resources and institutional commitment. And in today's time when equity is under attack through national rhetoric, I continue to think what it's like for these equity leaders to not only be tasked to do equity work and oftentimes to feel unsupported, but now have the pressure that the very work is under attack. And I think, and I have been publishing about this, how doing equity work for equity leaders is not only a personal commitment, but it comes at a big burden. It comes at a burden of emotional taxation, it comes at a burden of burnout, and it requires a deep toll on their mental health. So my call today as I was driving is not only how we can ask people to lead equity in a time where equity is under attack, but also how we can protect the very individuals that we are being tasked with leading equity efforts in today's climate. I believe that that's our task. How can we not only mandate equity, but also invest in protecting those individuals. Because if equity is to be achieved, we need to protect it. We don't only need to mandate it. So I'll pass it to my colleague.
First and foremost, good morning, everybody. I'm glad that everybody is here, and I'm grateful to be invited into this space. We just celebrated an incredible holiday this weekend. Anybody know what the holiday was? Resurrection. I heard it back there. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Some of you may commonly refer to it as Easter. Resurrection means to bring something back from the dead. I want you to understand that education, because I just heard it explained to me meticulously this morning. The College of Education, the Watson College of Education, CSUSB, as it relates to the work that they're doing, is not dead. There's nothing to be resurrected. So I'm grateful. Y'all missed your opportunity to clap right there. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we are here to be engaged in a conversation and a display. This isn't peacocking, what I call it in my neck of the woods. This isn't just an opportunity to explore some things. We have to talk about some things because something that comes from this great work known as the Bible is in Proverbs. It says this, and I want to be very clear with my words. I need y'all to get this right. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. We are living in a time where hope feels deferred. And it's different. If you look at COVID and the transitions that have occurred during COVID, I think that was kind of like the setting us up for what's to come. This new tenor of conversation, this new rhetoric about what we do in education. I never grew up wanting to be the chief of equity and access for the largest county in the entire country. Thank you for that. It never was in the books for me, and not because I came from an environment that didn't tell me that I could do it, because the role didn't exist. And here we are. I'm the first chief of equity and access, and here we are, and I've only been in this role almost 6 years, and we're facing the elimination of a role that was created to support each and every, even in the great state of California. So when we're saying here is that leadership matters. I have a leader in County Superintendent Delandre who said, until, now listen, I'm gonna use my language because I don't want to misquote him. Until there is a judgment that comes from a power by the letter of law that says we have to do something different, we will maintain our voice, we will maintain our language, and we will say we will do everything that we have to do for each and every person. But I have to get to understand this differently. Leadership. Raise your hand if you're a global leader in here, a global educational leader. Let me see you raise your hand. Okay, all right, let's try this again. Raise your hand if you're a leader. Okay, a couple more people. All right. Raise your hand if you can hear me. Okay, y'all had me nervous out there. Everybody in this space is a global leader for education because your impact is generational. You have no idea whom you are touching that is being right now inspired. In the Greek, the word inspire means to breathe life into. You are breathing life into someone just because you've chosen to be a part of this thing called education. And I'm excited. And when I hear my colleague talk about how we have to make space for these conversations and hear that type of support, this is my first time meeting this young man, but I'm happy to know that we are akin in spirit when it comes to what it means to be an educational leader. Leadership is challenging because in this political climate, we confuse the fact, listen to me, Dave, we confuse the fact that just because we've been shot at, we think we've been shot. Y'all, we haven't been shot. Let the quiver be emptied, and let's keep moving forward when it comes to the work of each and every. Because in order for us to live up to mission, Cal State San Bernardino, I have the privilege of being an adjunct professor here. I've been doing so for the last 5 years. Thank you, Becky, for encouraging me and keeping me continued in this space. I appreciate your You grabbing me by my collar and saying we will move forward with this thing, and it's been a beautiful thing. And she doesn't look like me, but she said, I think there's something that you have to say that we have to create a space for. That is what is at stake. And so we understand that just because people will come around and say things to us that might make us feel uncertain about tomorrow, if we are going to live up to mission, if we are going to define this thing, or for San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools, our mission is to, and this is an important mission, I love our mission is to transform lives through education. If we're going to live up to mission, we have to do it despite the fact that the ground seems unlevel. We have to do it despite the fact that it feels like we're under attack. We have to do it because it's the right thing to do for each and every. And I want to divorce our way of thinking that situates this thing as this is a conversation between us and them. This isn't us or them. This is our democracy. Our democracy requires each and every one of us to exercise our voice. Diversity is a natural part of this environment. Having leaders, raise your hand again if you're a leader. Okay, thank you. All right. Let me have you raise a little bit higher. Some of y'all weren't quite. Okay, thank you. I appreciate you. All right, let me see. Raise your hand the highest if you are a leader. Raise your hand the highest if you're. I see that. Thank you, sir. I'm about to call you out. Listen to me. My question becomes, if we understand leadership and we understand what it means is to lead from the front, we lead from the top of this pack, the front of this pack. Some of you youngsters know what I'm talking about in here. Then that means in leadership, we have to begin with our hand held highest. In leadership, we have to do that in the front, despite the fact that uncertainty is around the corner, despite the fact that where we're planted doesn't feel even. And I'm going to encourage each and every person in here today, because hope deferred makes the heart sick. I refuse to allow you to leave here and feel that despite this display, despite the fact that we're honoring all the great work that's being done at this great university, let me rephrase that, at this prestigious university, at this prestigious college of education, what I want you to understand is that we have a responsibility to generations that are coming behind us. We have a responsibility to our colleagues that are sitting beside us, that are doing this work alongside us, to not do it in silence, to not whimper, to not lick our wounds, but to move forward and live up to mission. And we do it despite the conversation that says that this thing is impossible. Can I quote Audrey Hepburn real quick, since we throwing quotes? I everybody don't know that. Let me just throw Audrey Hepburn out here. This is what the young lady said. She said, nothing is impossible. The very word says, I'm possible. We are possible, and we're going to get this job done together.
Good morning, everyone. I'll preface what I want to share with the fact that I'm very much a systems thinker. After probably over 15 years in many positions servicing students, I got really tired of the conversation being around, well, there's an issue, students should do X, Y, Z. And if you've had me in any class, you'd hear me, or in any meeting, you'd hear me say this, results and outcomes can never be on the back of students, right? And I feel that that's often what we do when we think about ways to solve problems. So I wanted to preface that because I'm very much a systems thinker, and I always encourage folks to think about how can we change the system for students rather than to ask students to change the system. And you can borrow that quote. So, you know, in talking about mental health, a lot of my work is around looking at post-secondary work on top of counseling-related aspects. And so we know that mental health issues, the students have, you know, faced a lot of mental health issues way before COVID, but we have definitely seen that post-COVID, mental health has, you know, for our students, has even risen exponentially. we've seen that many of our students of color, many of our LGBTQ plus students, and even especially those from minoritized communities have been hit the hardest. We see it here in the Inland Empire. We've seen how, our local traumas and collective traumas continue to impact our students and their families. And so we really have to examine that student experience and how is that student experience showing up in the classroom, right? How is that showing up in the work that we're doing? Because we can't just teach while ignoring that student experience, and that's something that I constantly have to challenge myself to think about. The second one, really have to think about the culture of education, and I think this is where the hard truths come out. We know that there are many factors that are, quite frankly, tethered to the culture of education. That is punitive practices, limited resources, racialized experiences, and even related, gun violence and other types of violence that re-traumatize students. And so when we talk about education, we cannot ignore those things that are naturally tethered to the culture, that are a huge part of the culture of education. We cannot ignore the student experience in the classroom. We see it through social movements where students are talking about their painful experiences and the realities when they have to deal with racialized experiences. And so, we see that in the other things that are happening, right? We have had legislation that is impacting our students of color. We see the rollback in affirmative action, the rebuke of student visas, right? And so all these things are happening in education, so we have to also look at that. In my work, one of the things that I've encountered is very powerful parent groups that their point is to dismantle social emotional learning, and in fact, they have been very effective at weaponizing educators' ability to equip students to deal with trauma and mental health. And if you're not aware of that, do any Google search, and you will find that these are parent groups that are trying to undo all the things that we have fought for a long time, so that our students not just learn, but are healthy in their mind. And so part of the problem is that while a lot of efforts have been done to support students, we have resources, we have additional staff, students still say that we are not hearing them, because when they see a light of the tunnel, right, they feel like there's a way out, we see another hurdle. And so that leads me to really thinking about how do we redesign a system that constantly sends contradictory messages to our students saying, hey, we care about your mental health and well-being, but we will put policies, practices, and other things before that, right, before your mental health. And so this work isn't just about adding services, it's about really thinking how do we shift the power, how do we shift practices, and how do we shift priorities where students truly are feeling heard, and that we make decisions that ultimately help them thrive. And I can go on because I love to talk go in my little TED talk. But ultimately, my point is, we have to think about going beyond asking students to, do something in order for this issue to be resolved, or to just take advantage of the service that's offered. We really have to think about how do we shift the system that is ultimately, and I hear this in some of the work where students feel like we are tone deaf, and I did a study a couple years ago where we interviewed tons of students across the U.S. and repeatedly, ultimately, what they said is, adults tell us they care and they want us to thrive, but they're tone deaf to our true experience and our mental health needs. So before I go into tangent, that's sort of the nutshell of the work as we think about how do we support our students' mental health and well-being.
Thank you. I'd like to also invite any questions from the audience if you will come up and use the microphone. I'd like to just briefly encapsulate those. Well, at least from my perspective, what I heard is not just that you use the word leaders, I also use the word mentors. We're all a role model every day.
whether we're in a classroom, whether we're in a lecture hall, whether we're in a meeting, whether we're at the grocery store, wherever we are, people are always watching us. And those small acts of kindness, what I like to refer to as random acts of kindness, and treating each other with civility. I also very much like the panel's perspective of it's not just individual change, but it's systematic and policy change, and the importance of listening to the voices, not just of the leaders and the change makers or decision makers, but the end, technology terms, what I would refer to as the end user, is the people that this is going to impact. We need to hear their voice and hear from them. I can sit in any White Castle room and make a decision, but that's only bringing my experience. We need the collective voice and hearing everybody, and especially the voices of the people who are going to be impacted. Those are my key takeaways.
You were paying attention.
I learned. Do we have any questions or comments for our panel members?
I have a comment.
Come on up, Joe. Come on down, Joe. We want to get you on camera. Yeah. We did have, while Joe was walking, we did have this neat little cube, but the camera is not picking it up. It's like a little beach ball with a microphone, so we do apologize. So we're changing our tech on the fly.
I really don't know if I'm getting camera, but I would like to say this. You know, I really get that to everybody. I mean, I've been here, I've been on this campus for a long time. And choke me up a little. There's a lot of talent in this room. And I think sometimes, I don't know what you choked up. But I think sometimes in the College of Ed, we don't present ourselves and we don't share out like we're sharing out now. And we need to do a better job of that. And I don't think our voice is heard. And I don't think the things that we do is heard. And I'm really proud today. Now I'm on camera, you know. There's just so much talent in this room in College of Ed. And you know, sometimes I think we are taken for granted. In a sense of it is about the students, it's about the altruism that we do and the giving back that we do. And we spend a lot of time and energy. And that's a lot of time and energy we do as educators. And we don't really come out and promote that. And I want to just tell you guys, I'm really proud of you.
Address to the panel. So how do we take action? How do we bring us all together? And how do we work on this together? You guys presented a lot of good stuff, but let's not just present it, let's do something.
I'm gonna start real quick, and I'm gonna be quick, and y'all give that to my other two colleagues here. If you look at the front of this agenda, got this handout, it says something powerful. It says strength through community, strength through community, strength through community. It says connect, lead, serve. In order for us to get through this, and I think through all things, no matter what it looks like, we have to focus on that community piece. Community means, and I want to just take the back end of that, unity. U-N-I-T-Y. I love Queen Latifah. U-N-I-T-Y stands for unity. Thank you, Doctor. And so I need us to understand that we have to come in unity. We have to come in unity in order to do it. I love this. How do you do that? We first have to connect. And when we connect, we have to be understanding of what it means to be a leader. Even if it's just making sure you set your alarm clock to wake up, you have to be able to lead. And lastly, you have to be able to serve. There's not a good leader that is not a good servant. So we have to be able to serve. So I think coming together in community is how we achieve those things.
I can speak really quick about this, but in general, in my research, equity advocates, people doing equity work, they are the ones who listen to the students, who address the barriers, and make the institutions more responsible to the needs of diverse communities. And to mandate equity, whether it's through state legislature, whether it's through a school mission, and to not support those people doing equity work It's a fool's errand. We really need to support the people leading from the trenches. It's usually those who listen to students, identify the barriers, and try to change the culture of an institution, the ones who are punished the most. And to continue to mandate and be invested in equity, as I said before, without prioritizing those individuals, it's a fool's errand, and we need to do better than that. We need to lead from within, and that starts with supporting equity advocates.
I think the way I'll answer that is just by 3 points. Definitely leaning on our collective wisdom and leverage that, and how can we come together, because this is not the task of one person. And I always say revisit history. This is not our first go-around in trying to be dismantled, so revisit history and revisit what worked, and how can we also leverage that to help us move forward. But I think as someone who's very grounded in student work, we have to include student-led activism into this, because at the end of the day, they are our customers. And if we are in it for them, we also have to include them in this.
Thank you for the questions of the audience. Thank you to our panel members. And Dean Damachuku, I invite you up now, and you will introduce the provost.
All right. Before I call up our provost, who is already up, I just want to say that we wanted you to be here today so we could accomplish a few things. First, to inform you. I know we sent out our magazine, but it's not everybody who gets it. And if everybody gets it, not everybody who reads through it. So we felt like sharing with you in person to inform, but also to engage you and to invite you for more collaboration, for more participation. Because as you know what we are doing, you will better know where we can connect and work together. That's our goal today. And before I call up Provost, who is going to have the last word, I want to... All right. I want to recognize our outstanding faculty for this academic year. They were announced last night. So I want to call out the following who are recognized. Dr. Gemma Kim. She's recognized by her colleagues for outstanding teaching. Dr. Carmen Beck. For professional development. Dr. Becky Sumbera. For service. And Dr. Susan Jindra, I know she's connecting somewhere, who is recognized as our lecturer for this academic year. So I want to say thank you to all of you. Now it's my honor to bring forward our provost, Dr. Rafiq Mahal.
Try not to make the mic errors that somewhere. We good there? Yes. I'll slide this in my pocket and try to remember not to take it home. There we go. Well, good morning still. Good morning, everybody. The good thing about going in this time slot is that I have another event at noon, and I was told only 5 minutes, like Chinaka lamented earlier. And if I go over, there's time like for Q&A at the end. And given the budgetary environment, I figure if I just stall out a little bit, nobody can ask any questions.
and I can just roll out to the thing I have to be at noon. So there we go. Well, first and foremost, I wanted to thank everybody for showing up today, and especially our community partners. I know you all have. I was heartened to see you all here. I know you all have other things going on in your lives and your worlds, and I think it says a lot that you took the time to come here and be with the Watson College today. So thank you. Speaking of the Watson College, Jim, it's great to see you. Thank you, and thank you for being here, but also thank you and Judy for all that you have done to continue to support educational excellence in the Inland Empire and the state. I know your passions are literacy, but your impact has extended well beyond that. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the outstanding faculty and staff of the Watson College of Education for all that you do, for all the ways that you inspire educators, but also each other to continue to do great things in our community through education. So thank you all. Enrique, really quickly, you asked, you said, are you taking notes? As you walked by earlier, and they said, no, you're working on something else. No, I was taking notes. I was taking notes, and I also believe you are a great dancer. So there you go. I was told I had 5 minutes. I was told to do 3 things. One, to say hello. 2, to celebrate the college, offer some props, and then 3, talk about what lies ahead. In terms of the accolades, I was here the whole time. Like 5 minutes late. 5 minutes late tonight. 5 minutes late. And you all were here. You heard everything that I heard. And it reminds me of what I'll call the parable of the Oscar speech. If I try to list all of the good things that I heard or thank everybody who was important, I'm going to miss people, and then people are going to say, what about me, what about me? And I know Enrique in particular, if I didn't single him out, he might continue to fill up my inbox. Anyway, so I'm not going to do that. I am just going to say that I was really touched by all of the great things that are going on in the Watson College. To the point that was one of the final points that was made, I think for a variety of reasons, the college is not overlooked, but certainly not as centered in our campus conversations as it ought to be. And part of that's just the nature of the college, right? It's principally a graduate college. Y'all teach at night and stuff like that, and online and everything else. And so it's easier to be, and you're also in the community, so it's easier to be, it's easier to be perceived as kind of less central in terms of the daily operations of the university. But I know that that's not true, and what I heard today only serves to verify and validate that. So again, wonderful work. I'm inspired by it all, and thank you for all that you do. See, Enrique, my notes. All right. So I was then told to talk about moving forward and opportunities and challenges. I'm going to just say a couple of things. Number one, as I mentioned, the budget's in the toilet. We all know that. Next year is going to be another bumpy ride, and I'm hoping that's the last of the kind of 3 or 4 years of real turmoil. But we can't be sure. I do appreciate the work that folks in the college have done. Mark Groen came up to me a few weeks ago. He's like, I added students to my class, and we were like 3 students above the penalty point for losing funding from the CO this past year. And if it wasn't for individual faculty members taking the time, making the effort to support our students through adding them to their classes or kind of giving them alternatives to dropping classes, that would have been even more painful. So the budget stinks. We are having just an open forum for faculty, a faculty forum. Jordan Fulham he and I are hosting it. It's on May 7th. More information to come. But if you have questions about that kind of stuff, it's not going to be a budget forum. It's just an open forum. Jordan and I will be co-hosting that. So I'm just putting that out there right now. The other stuff going on, but Dr. Betters, nervous, as apparently you do too. My wife says to me often, she says, I don't know what you're going to be like when you're an old man, but I think you're just going to be walking around the house just blurting out random lyrics. And she's probably right, because I wrote this down before you quoted Queen Latifah. All right. And so I wrote this down, and it was inspired by you. So here we go. Like getting stomach aches when you gotta go to work, or staring into space when you're feeling berserk. I don't really mind if it's over your head, because the job of resurrectors is to wake up the dead.
Come on.
All right, that's a little Tribe Called Quest from their song, The Jazz. All right. And I agree with what you said, which is that there is no need for resurrection because nothing has died. But we are definitely in peril. And to also borrow from that same era, Spike Lee's movie School Days, apropos to the college here. I think we need to wake up because if we do not, and if we just decide that inertia is going to get us where we need to go, that's it. We have some existential issues that I think are more pressing than the things we think about on a daily basis. I had this quote from Martin Luther King Jr., who I actually make it a point not to quote MLK. Not because he's not quote worthy, but he's often quoted, and I often try to find people who are a little bit more obscure than he. But this is the reason this quote stood out to me is because he's talking specifically about education, but also because he wrote it as a college student while he was at Morehouse. And he wrote, the function of education, therefore, is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. But education, which stops with efficiency, may prove the greatest menace to society. The most dangerous criminal, nobody volunteered the White House, the most dangerous criminal may be the man gifted with reason, but with no morals. And I'm thinking about where education is headed right now, and has been headed for a while. And for me, it's been this persistent plotting, this march against education, as Dean Damatuku said earlier, schools under attack. That's been going on for a while. But I'm frightened by the pace or the speed with which it's going now. And it brought to mind this article that I read. Oops, I better shut up. Just a couple of days ago. It was an opinion piece, an op-ed in the New York Times. And the title is, "Come with me if you want to survive an age of extinction." And the author writes, I'm just going to read a couple of excerpts, talking about where we are now. It's forcing the human race into what evolutionary biologists call a bottleneck, a period of rapid pressure that threatens cultures, customs, and people with extinction. When college students struggle to read passages longer than a phone-sized paragraph, when daily newspapers fade into irrelevance, when sit-down restaurants and shopping malls and colleges begin to trace the same descending arc, that's the bottleneck tightening around the old forms of, in this case, suburban middle-class existence. But the scale of potential extinction still isn't adequately appreciated. This isn't just a normal churn where travel agencies go out of business or Netflix replaces the VCR. Everything that we take for granted is entering into the bottleneck. And for anything that you care about, the key challenge of the 21st century is making sure that it's still there on the other side. I'm not sure what the answer to the problem is, but I do know that we need to work collaboratively and we need to work intentionally if we want the function of education, as King noted and as you all know, to make it through to the other side of the bottleneck. The author of this op-ed also writes, normalcy and complacency will be fatal. I'll close with just one other passage from him, if I can find it. Oh, where I wrote this. How much survives? Nothing I've described is universal unless the true AI doomsayers are correct. in the year 2100, there will still be nations, families, religions, children, marriages, great books. But how much survives will depend on our own deliberate choices. And so I don't mean to be pessimistic because I thought the panel was much more optimistic than that. And I don't think it has to be fatalistic or pessimistic, but I will say definitively that action is required. Action has to include all of us. When I was thinking about the role of the Watson College, I think there's an opportunity here to reach out to other faculty and staff on college to really try to help galvanize people around the centrality of education, especially in K-12 environments, because that's where I think the real attack is coming, despite the attacks on our grants and everything else that's going on with higher ed. But that's where, you know, not to be trite or corny, but that's where, you know, that really is where the future lies, is in those young people who are in those spaces, and as others have said, educating them and inspiring them to become the next generation of advocates, because as you pointed out, it is important for us to look to the past for lessons going forward, but we all really need to get off our, well, we need to, we need to come together and take action. I got in trouble for saying this the other day to a group of people, so I'm not going to phrase it exactly the same way as I said it there. But I was fed up. That's an Usher song. And I was like, you know, we all need to put our petty BS aside, the little infighting that we have in places, little disagreements that we have with other people, and really focus on the bigger picture if we want to make it through this bottleneck in one piece.
And look at that, I almost spent time for Q&A, just like I planned.
Thank you, sir. He planned it that way, so you're seeing your questions and take you to the open forum. So College of Education will be the first ask questions. So let me say thank you for being here tonight, this afternoon. This afternoon already. Is it? Almost.
1 more minute.
All right. So thank you for being here. Those of you who made it possible, deeply appreciate your sacrifice, giving us your time to be here. And you know that it's being live cast on YouTube. The last time we checked, there was at least 37 people that were there. So if you add that to who is here, you will see that we have quite a good turnout. So we appreciate you. Let me once again say to our district partners, thank you for coming. And we hope seeing and hearing what we're doing prompts you to know areas that we can continue to collaborate and new areas that we can do things together. And I want to say thank you to Jim and his team for coming out and being here. We just wanted you to see how great Watson College is and is continuing to be. And do give our regards to Judy and tell her it's live so we can make sure she watch it. Because I know she will. And Robert, thank you. Thank you for always being here to support us. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to our committee, the planning committee. I want to say a big thank you to Dr. Enrique Morillo, who led this process. He's good at things like this, and we say, can you please do this? And he gladly led it. Dr. Lasisa Jai, also on the committee. Dr. Marita Mahoney, Dr. Stacey Ortiz, Dr. David Sumbera, Candy Sykes, Jennifer Martin. Thank you to all of you for making this happen. We appreciate you. Thank you, colleagues. Have a wonderful rest of your day.